SKT, the most famous and the most recognized name in competitive League of Legends history. They won 3 World Championships and 8 LCK titles. At the center of it all, they have Faker, the best player ever. No one is even close to denting his resume. In Worlds 2019 semifinals, they faced off versus G2, the LEC team that embarrassed them back at MSI earlier this year. SKT was hungry for revenge and a chance to let the world know they're back and they're not going to let some Western team take the crown away from them. Many Korean fans and analysts had them as the favorites, but SKT's 2019 legacy was on the line and the chances of them losing to G2 were very real. And it happened. G2 dismantled SKT. The 3-1 scoreline might fool you into thinking it was a competitive series, but in all actuality, G2's victory was almost inevitable when you go back and examine the series with detail. So, let me be the one to enlighten you on how G2 was able to take down the pride of Korea. Alright, we got the whole YouTube intro out of the way. Let's start with the draft. Deeper champion pool. While SKT players don't have clear champion pool issues, when facing off versus a team like G2, who has the largest pool in the world, draft is a problem. SKT during the series constantly had to ban Syndra since they aren't able to flex their bot lane like G2, and that's only a G2 thing really. And also Qiyana, a champion G2 actually struggled with in the group stage. Jankos had some horrific games on her, and they had to permaban it versus Dom1 Gaming earlier, so it was really questionable for me for SKT to consistently ban Qiyana. And when they opened up Qiyana in game 4 and Faker played it, they kind of showed why they had to ban it the entire series. We got the infamous shaker meme with Faker, his hands were shaking, arms were sweaty, mom's spaghetti. Okay.
Right back, but Faker's ult is not going to be effective. Khan now has to run for his life. Perks and Caps are still alive. G2 get 2-3 for nothing.
Faker missed his Qiyana ultimate in the jungle.
Another problem with their draft was Renekton priority. All 3 Korean teams showed extreme high priority on Renekton. Renekton combined with Elise or Talia can have a very high kill threat on almost any target in top lane. There's been a few niche counters that teams have picked up, such as Cleanse Quinn or Ornn, but even those versus the duo of Renekton plus a strong jungler can be really dangerous to pick into. One unique thing about Caps is his proficiency for roams. People talk about how little time he spends in lane. He will constantly look for opportunities to affect rest of the map whenever he gets going, and this style is actually a pretty good counter to what Korean teams are trying to do with Renekton, which is die top lane and just kill him over and over again. It's an incredibly hard pattern for Renekton to play aggressive when the enemy mid laner is constantly Mia, and Renekton's trade consists of him using E4 to get in range of the enemy, and that's just not doable when enemy mid can show up anytime and ruin his day. Alright, enough about draft. Let's get to the core of the problem, the real reason, the thing that hurts every SKT and LCK fan to admit. G2 plays better League of Legends than SKT. It wasn't some cheesy pick. It wasn't SKT choking. Straight up, G2 just plays better League of Legends than SKT. So, what do I mean by that? Let me explain it a little bit more in detail. G2 are better than SKT as working as a team. They analyze the state of the game better. They know what they can do, they know what they can't do, they know what the enemy team can do, and they also make more intelligent decisions based on the map state. And they take calculated risks that a conservative LCK team like SKT would almost never take. G2 is very good at all this, and behind all the trash talk and fancy flex picks that G2 is best known for, G2 is secretly the best macro team in the world. So, the games were pretty close in terms of gold. G2 never really had a significant lead over SKT, as you can see in the stats here. Almost every lead that SKT built was off of individual outplays or good games.
We talked about how SKT do have a draft that is that much stronger in the early game, and in game 1, G2 did a great job of avoiding these fights, but this time around with Faker on the LeBlanc.
Kick over the wall, Clint! Wow! Putting on a Lee Sin clinic. His Perks goes down.
While on the other hand, G2 stayed in the game by making intelligent decisions as a team. Let's take a closer look at what I'm all talking about with some game clips. So, in game 1, G2 fell behind early and SKT was stronger in teamfights for most of the game. G2 offset this by not contesting dragons and making unexpected cross-map plays. Just take a look at this 4-man dive on Khan. He had no idea this was coming, and even as a spectator with a bird's eye view, I thought it was really unexpected that they actually pulled it off.
SKT isn't in position to make any other play, so as far as conceding Infernal Drakes, that's about as good as you can do.
Let's also look at SKT's lack of map play. In Game 3, SKT is in such a good position to dominate G2. They have a strong split pusher in Renekton and another split pusher in Ryze, and they also have double Mountain Drake and can threaten Baron, and also there's a checkmate play with double split pushers when you have both their TPs up. It's called shadowing. It's when Renekton is split pushing bottom and Ryze is hiding behind Renekton. And once Camille shows up, Ryze can ult behind the Camille, maybe Ryze can flash root to Camille, and they're able to kill her instantly with the combo of Renekton and Ryze. So once they do that, G2's natural response will be play on Baron's side, and SKT can port both members, or they can delay while having one split push and one can TP. They can put G2 in a very, very awkward spot. But SKT just get antsy and they start the Baron right away. They don't really wait for the double TP, and it's just really stupid to see. I promise you, if G2 were in the opposing situation, they would pull off that shadow play, or at the very least, they would not start Baron the way SKT did.
A perfect Nautilus ult to get everything going. A Cocoon to follow up. A TP now coming in. Baron will reset and Mickey will walk away with his life.
And you can also kind of see this in the Baron usage from SKT. Once again, in Game 3, SKT has Baron, and they're in a position to snowball. And instead of doing a coordinated 2-lane or 3-lane pressure play with Baron, SKT awkwardly starts this horrific dive. Effort and Khan are terribly out of position, and Faker isn't able to join the fight at all, and he ends up dealing 0 damage throughout the whole process. I think SKT and LCK teams are all terrible at using Baron, and they are so used to enemy teams passively giving up turret in the map when they get Baron, so they often just default into 3-lane split push, and they slowly grab turrets while maximizing farm. On the other hand, EU teams love forcing dives on turrets with Baron and blowing up the enemy team, and it results in faster games. We can talk about individual mistakes such as Faker's blunder on Ryze.
And now, Faker is hunting.
Jankos doesn't even know. From the darkness, the flash out, the Cocoon will not connect. Spider form of the Krugs, he's got to be asking himself, should be able to go up into the air.
Oh, the fall, he lost vision.
Or at first nerves getting to him on Leona.
Jankos isn't close. SKT doesn't know that, but they have a chance to burn this down if they really want to.
4K, it's getting lower and lower. 2K, it's going to drop. They're going to back away.
They didn't know where Jankos was.
They're hoping for the play, but Effort's been locked down. He's so incredibly low, and now the fight's going to kick off. A perfect Nautilus ult to get everything going. A Cocoon to follow up.
But at the core of it all, G2 just is a better team through and through, and they were way more deserving to play in finals over SKT. Korea, if last year's failure at international events weren't enough, I truly hope this year's failures are. I still believe Korea has the strongest talent pool out of all the regions. We just really need to take a closer look at how we play the game and start learning from LEC and LPL teams that just do it better. There are definitely things to learn from both regions. Like LEC is such a creative and a free-flowing region, and they're so good about snowballing. Like really look at how Fnatic copied G2 and leveled up their gameplay. If SKT copied G2 the same way that Fnatic did, I have no doubt in my mind they would be a stronger team going into Worlds this year. Or look at LPL and with their incredibly strong players and kind of letting them run loose and what we can find from that. Let's stop believing in the conservative and the predictive playstyles of the past and embrace the speed and the free-flowing League of Legends that teams like G2 and FPX were able to showcase this year at Worlds. Korea will still be the best one day. Just a little less pride and a little bit more open-mindedness towards what other people are doing, and I promise you, we'll get there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this informative piece. I try to make it entertaining. It takes a lot of work to make an educational and an informative piece like this, and it's a lot of resource in terms of like editing hours, like me researching, and it just takes a longer time and effort, and I don't get the same kind of viewership and the same kind of return I do compared to more of my React pieces. If you like content like this, let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this. Like, make it worth for me because I do want to do more kind of content like this, and together we'll be able to. So, yeah. One last thing. You know what's coming. I'm not crazy. I'm just Loco. Bye.